Mr. President. Good morning, members of the Council. And I take this opportunity to congratulate you for your presidency of the Security Council for the month of April, and I assure you of our delegation full support and cooperation. I would like also to acknowledge and appreciate the presence of Mr. Nicholas Haysom and Ms. Adim, and Jacqueline Asiwa, and I appreciate your comprehensive reports equally. At the outset, we would like to wish and express our deepest condolences and unequivocal condemnation of the heinous attack on the UNMISS helicopter in Nasser on March 7th, which claimed the lives of humanitarians and UNMISS personnel. We extend our deepest condolences to the families and pledge a full and impartial investigation to hold those responsible accountable. It is also worth noting that the government has already launched this investigation and is committed to bringing those responsible to justice and ensuring that safety and security of all United Nations personnel operating in the country. It is also worth noting that during this crisis of March 7th, not only have soldiers of the South Sudan Defense Forces lost their lives, also some of their family members were killed along with them, wives and children. And this is an act that must be brought to books, and the government will do all of its work to make sure that this is brought forth. Mr. President, as a sovereign nation striving for peace and stability, we remain committed to transparency, accountability, and cooperation with all stakeholders who support our nation's progress. The government of South Sudan remains steadfast in its commitment to the implementation of the virtualized peace agreement on the resolution of the conflict in South Sudan. Despite the challenges, we are moving forward. However, we recognize that the current political situation in the country has raised concern among our international partners and regional partners. We are grateful to the African Union for its support, in particular the recent visit of Mr. Raila Odinga on behalf of President William Ruto of Kenya, the panel of WISE on behalf of the African Union, President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda, Eritrea Presidential Envoy, and the European delegation, whose engagement reaffirms the continent and the international community's commitment to the peace process in South Sudan. We also wish to inform the Council that IGAD is scheduled to visit South Sudan in the time of their convenience. The government is working tirelessly with the partners to ensure that the implementation of the peace process continues and progress to a manner that inclusive, transparent, and credibility are met. Mr. President, the voice of the people of South Sudan remains clear and unwavering. We are calling for peace from every corner of our nation. Citizens are urging their leaders to uphold and protect the gains made since the signing of the peace agreement. The government hears their voices and reaffirms our collective duty to ensure that this peace is not only preserved but also strengthened. As the Security Council considers the mandate of UNMISS, we request that the mission continue to work in close partnership with our national institutions and aligns its efforts with evolving realities on the ground and support the transition from peacekeeping to peace building. We acknowledge the observation presented in the April 2025 assessment by the Secretary General and the provision highlighted by the African Union, IGAD, and UNMISS. These institutions have stood beside us since our independence and remain grateful to their partnership in our journey to peace and democratic future. We recognize the importance of conditions identified for peaceful and credible elections. The government welcomes the finalization of the election-specific timelines by the National Election Commission and reiterates the determination to hold inclusive and credible elections at the end of the transition period. While challenges remain, particularly in launching civic education and constitutional consultations, we are taking concrete steps to advance the critical milestones with urgency and seriousness. Mr. President, I stand before you today to address the recent development and the ongoing implementation of the Revitalized Peace Agreement and the resolution of the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan. The government of South Sudan has taken note of the concerns raised by the UN Secretary General, the African Union Peace and Security Council, the IGAD, and other regional and international partners regarding the current security and political situation in our country. First, let me reaffirm our unwavering commitment to the full and faithful implementation of the revised peace agreement. We are mindful of our duty to safeguard the gains